let's have a look and see if we are on the right page at last. Okay, now I know there's a little bit of a time lag, so I'm just going to have a little look. Alrighty, that's better. Okay, I think we are live in the right group. I think we are live in the right group. Yes, we are. That's all good stuff. So, hello everybody. How are you doing? I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good time, and I'm going to just let you know that I'm actually doing this on Zoom, and it is the first time I've done this, so I'm experimenting with it. So and I'm also demonstrating what you can do with Zoom when you are broadcasting live on Facebook. So that's all pretty exciting. I'm a little bit close to the camera, so I need to kind of go back a little bit. That's better. That's better. Alrighty. So how are everybody doing? Not sure if we've got anybody on just yet. So if anybody's watching the recording of this, we had a couple of false starts, but I think all is good right now. So what I want to talk about tonight is how to monetize your Facebook Lives, how to monetize your Facebook Live training. Because after all, it's something that one of the whole points of doing Facebook Lives is to increase your audience, to increase engagement with your audience, and to eventually make some money out of it. So I'm going to go through a few little things, little ideas. Hello, Roger. Hi, Michelle. How nice to see you. It's actually, this is really, really interesting because I can see your comments. So I'm going to give you some likes and loves. So if you can, hey, Chris, how are you doing? Give me some hearts and love and all the rest of it. And it's really, really interesting, this, because I'm using Zoom. I'm broadcasting to you using Zoom. There's a tiny bit of a delay. And also the little view telling you how many people on doesn't come on straight away as well. So it's all good. Hiya, Joy. You're here for a short while. Welcome. Hello, Susan. Send Susan some love, everybody. She's fractured her ankle, so she's having to rest up in a bit of pain and all that kind of thing at the moment. So send Susan some love. All right, so tonight is all about monetizing Facebook Lives, and I'm getting a bit settled now, and I'm going to let you into a secret. When using new technology for the first time, I get nervous and I get a little bit freaked out as well, especially when it doesn't go to plan. I did a couple of rehearsals earlier on today, but something I didn't pick up is I've got 3 groups all called 5-star speakers. I've got my members only group, but I've got 2 5-star speakers. One is this current one and one is an old one, which I really need to change the name of the group, and I need to shut it down and get everybody who was in that across to this one. Because when I went to share my Zoom to the Facebook, I thought, oh no, I've got 2 of them, but I don't know which one to pick. So that was all a little bit stressful. And of course, I picked the wrong one and started streaming to the wrong group. So I shut it down, and here we go again. So here's take 2. So hello everybody. We've got 5 people on here now, so that's all cool. So monetizing your Facebook Lives. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you loads of ideas. Actually, it's about half a dozen, something like that. But I'm also going to demonstrate as well how you can use Zoom. There are other software out there as well that you might be able to use to do this, but how to kind of turn your Facebook Live into a little bit of a mini webinar. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate how to do that, and that's why I wanted to experiment with using Zoom today. So first of all, the nice simple one, all right, you do a whole load of Facebook Lives on a particular training topic, and what you're going to do then is repurpose those. So the first way that you can repurpose them is you can export them. So once you've done your live, And then what happens is obviously Facebook then turns that into a video, and that then appears where you did the live in the first place, whether that's on your personal timeline or whether it's in your group. So the video is there, people can see the recording, all well and good and dandy. But what you can do is you can be a little bit crafty. You can take that down. You can pretty much export those videos so that you've got them on your computer. And then once you've got them on your computer, you can upload them wherever you want to, such as YouTube or Amazon S3, Vimeo, any of the places where you can host videos, or you can just upload them into another Facebook group. Okay, so you can extract them. Once you've downloaded the video, you can delete the post so that the people in the kind of free area, whether that's your personal timeline or whether it's in a free group, so they don't get access to that recording anymore. All right, so what you can do then is you can upload them into a membership site where you can sell that as a product. And that is actually something that I'm intending to do. I am intending to leave the Facebook Lives up for a little bit longer. I'm not sure if it's going to be a week, 2 weeks maximum. And then they are going to be taken down, and I'm going to wrap those up into a separate product, which I'm going to charge $97 for. So you can do exactly the same too. So another thing that you can do is you can turn them into a product, and instead of selling the product separately, you can give it away as a bonus. So you can give it away as a bonus product when you're selling something else. So that's another way that you can do it. Hello there, Mike. How are you doing? I'm not going to read out your comment. Anybody else who's watching can read that. Otherwise, I'm just going to end up laughing. All right. Roger's saying it looks like there's trouble showing the video. Let me know, everybody else, if you can still see and hear this okay. That would be rather cool. Okay, I'm just going to... I'm just going to check. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Now I think it's all, oh, there we go. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm just letting somebody else in so that they can watch. There we go. Yvette's in so she can watch. All right, Chris, Yvette's in so she can watch this as well now. All righty. Now, where am I? I need to go back to my, so I can see what's going on. So if there's any questions or comments, can you pop them in the chat box for me underneath the live? I'm just pausing in a minute because I've lost my place. See, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this bit of software, and I'm all over the place. All right, I'm back on track, I think. Yeah, I'm back on track. So pop any questions into the comments, give us some love and all the rest of it. And can you let us know if you can still hear and see me okay? Because I could put my volume on, but that would be well weird. So anyway, just to recap, the ways that you can monetize is you do your live trainings. But obviously you need to do some structure around that, make sure you're giving something away, and then you only allow them up for a short period of time. Then you extract them, upload them into a product which you can then make paid. So that's one way. You can give them away as bonuses for another product. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can create another membership group, which is a paid membership group. It's almost like a kind of mini way of doing a membership site. So instead of having to buy different membership site software, you simply set up another Facebook group and you only give access to people who are paying members or people who've paid up front. Thanks, Michelle. You can see and hear fine. Okay, it might be your end then, Roger. Sorry. So yeah, so you can only give them access to the membership group if they've paid. There's loads of people who are doing that really successfully. And then, of course, you make the live trainings available in that little membership group. So that's another way that you can monetize them. Then you can start getting a little bit more sophisticated. You can start running your Facebook Lives almost as mini webinars. And in a little moment, I'm going to demonstrate how you can run a little mini webinar on the Facebook Live. So it's quite cool. It's really quite cool. And one of the things that I love about this is that you can get people to register, say, for the webinar, and so that you've got people who actually have given their name and email address. But at the same time, you can stream it out through your Facebook. And again, I'm using Zoom to do this. Now, you have to use Zoom webinars. The other day when I was talking about all the different platforms that you can use, Zoom meetings isn't enough. You have to have Zoom webinars to be able to stream on Facebook. But you may well be able to do all sorts of things using either eCam.com or BeLive TV as well. There's all sorts of things that's coming up. One of the things that I've seen done with Zoom webinars is you can have a whole panel, not just a split screen with 2 people, and that was really, really cool. So what you can do is you can treat your Facebook Live as a mini webinar, and then at the end of the webinar you can give them a call to action to have a conversation with you. And then what you do on the one-to-one conversation is that you can sell them into a high-ticket item like a coaching package or a mastermind program, something of that nature. Or alternatively, you can almost do a kind of real traditional type of webinar where you go through some slides. So you share your screen, show some slides, and then at the end you invite people to buy your product. So there are loads of different ways that you can monetize your Facebook Lives. You can even just set up a web page, and you can password protect it, and you can just charge them to watch one training session on a Facebook Live. So there's about half a dozen ways there that you can monetize. Brilliant question, Joy. Joy is saying, when you take your Facebook Lives off Facebook, do your ratings go down? Yes, they do. That's one of the downsides. And this is exactly why I changed my mind. Originally, I was going to leave each of my Facebook Lives up for just one day, and then I was going to take them down to sell the product later on. And then when I saw the engagement and the love, and that people were actually going back, they were saying maybe Facebook was notifying them and pushing them out, the second day or the third day, and people were then going back and watching my previous ones. I kind of discussed the strategy with my mentors, and we came to the conclusion that because my group is growing, and the whole part of this initiative was to grow the group, then I decided I'm not going to take them down. I'm going to leave them up for a couple of weeks at least. Then when I've got other lives and I've got the engagement going, then I can take them down. So yes, Joy, you're absolutely right. Once you take them down, the Facebook love stops. All right. So when you're first starting out, you might want to kind of do the way that I've done and leave them up for a given period of time. Once you're then on to new lives and you keep doing them and you've got new lives going, then the engagement is up, and it's not too much of a drama if you then take them down. Okay, so you have to think strategically about the whole of this thing. Any other questions or comments? Because otherwise I'm going to just start demoing how you use Facebook Lives, and by using a platform you can turn it into a little mini webinar. Okay, so there is a little bit of a time lag, so I'm not going to switch straight away, but it's cool, isn't it? I think the way that Zoom works is really, really, really useful. I think I'm pretty much seeing on my screen, because I've got my Facebook screen open, and I can see exactly the way that I would if I was doing it just directly live. I can see the number of viewers, I can see the comments. Can I fix your ankle? Oh, I wish I could, Susan. I wish I could. If I was able to zap across the, zap through the camera, I think I'd be making an absolute fortune. So how am I using Zoom and Facebook Live? It's actually quite easy, Mary. Hello, by the way. Mary and I go back a long way. Another one from the lovely Jo Barnes's SNA. So basically what you do is you have to use Zoom webinars. You set up a Zoom webinar, and then there's a little feature for you to just share and stream it on Facebook Live. And it's quite simple. You choose where. You have to set up the privacy settings right at the beginning, and it's really quite straightforward. What I'm going to do is put some techie training on how to do all of this in my little membership program, which I'm about to tell you about. So yeah, it's quite interesting. So Michelle's saying, if you share from a free area to a paid and then delete from the free area, does the share in the paid area still work? Do you know what, Michelle? I'm gonna say I think so, but I'm not 100% sure. What I would be tempted to do is download the video first and then re-upload it into the paid area. So instead of it being a share, you download the video, which you can do. And it's quite simple. You just open up the live and then you get options. You right click on it and it says save video as, and you just save it. And then it saves on your computer, and then that's a video that you can then upload to wherever you want to. So I wouldn't actually use the share option. I would use the download and then upload again. Okay, Mary is asking, what's the advantage of using Zoom? The advantage of using Zoom is that you can share your screen, and you can do that then to just share your desktop, or you can show slides, which I'm about to do. So if there's any other questions, just type them in now, and then I'm going to kind of get on to sharing the slides. And this is really exciting. It's a really kind of cool way. And yes, you have to pay for Zoom webinars, but I think it's a real cool way of doing webinars, rather than using some of the other traditional software platforms, such as Webinar Jam, Easy Webinar, and all that kind of thing. Like I've said before, when talking about webinar platform choices, there is so much to consider when making your choice. I'm going to talk a bit about that in a moment. So, right, I'm going to do this then. I'm going to share my screen and show you my slides. And just keep my fingers crossed and pray that this is all going to work. So, you should be able to see my slides very shortly. And the great thing is that I know that you're absolutely great at what you do. And I can see that the slides are showing on my Facebook wall, so that's really cool. Joy's saying, is there any real difference between a live and a webinar apart from platforms? Not really, Joy. Now it's really funny because the whole thing with lives before was that it was just talking, you know, head talking to your camera. Now that you can use the integration like this, there's actually not that much between a Facebook Live where you can share your screen and show slides and a webinar. You know, it's incredible. And Mike's saying, no, absolutely, you don't need to be live to share your screen in Zoom. You can just use Zoom, and you don't have to go anywhere near Facebook. You can just use your Zoom as your webinar platform. But I think there's just something quite cool about putting it on Facebook. It's horses for courses. It depends what you want to do with it. So the thing, so I'm going to kind of go through this now and show you. I'm going to demonstrate how it works as using the Facebook Live as a webinar. I'm also going to show you, this is the kind of format to use when you want to sell a product. Okay, so this is a really good little mini webinar, and you can use this process, you can use this kind of formula, if you like, if you want to sell a product at the end. And I'm going to use this opportunity to tell you about my membership site. And a lot of you here are already in it, which is cool. But anybody who's not in it, and anybody who is going to be watching the recording who's not in it, you'll see why in a moment, that it's a great idea to get on board now. Hello, Samantha. How are you doing? Hiya, Trace. Hello. It's really nice to see you all on here. Samantha's saying the advantage is that somebody doesn't need to log into a different platform. Absolutely. People are on Facebook all the time anyway. So you don't have to then go log out, log in somewhere else. It just appears. It's like magic. It's brilliant, you know. I absolutely love it. Great point. Hello, Yvette. Welcome. Nice to meet you, as it were. Nice to meet you. All right. So here's the thing then. You are all absolutely superb at what you do, and I know you are because I've seen you. I've seen your Facebook Lives in action that you've done so far. I know some of you personally, you know, because we've had a bit of a long relationship on Facebook. But anybody who is watching this that I don't yet know personally, I can still pretty much guarantee that you're great at what you do. If you're a coach, consultant, trainer, if you're running your own business, you are great at what you do. You have gifts that you need to share with the world. And here's the thing, all right? If you are blinking good at what you do, then it is absolutely time to let the world know about it. How are you going to do that? Well, the most effective way of letting the world know about how awesome you are is to speak about what you do. And to speak about what you do in all sorts of different contexts. So to get you really good at speaking about what you do and to show you the context that it fits in with, I'm just going to use a little model that I created. So this little model has got different parts to it. Now, the blue bits in the middle are the skills, all right? So to get good at speaking, you need to have confidence. Now, you don't need to be supremely confident. It doesn't matter if you've still got a few little jitters, but you need to know at least how to manage that confidence so that you come across as confident, even if you may not completely feel it inside. And therefore, your audience will have confidence in what you're saying, who you are, and that they will trust you. Okay, so confidence is a real key part of the jigsaw puzzle. Obviously, you need to know how to put content together, and not just content from an educational point of view. This is the mistake I made for years. When I was speaking to try and promote myself and my business and trying to get clients, I fell into what I call the trainer trap. I was putting really great educational content together, but it just wasn't selling, it wasn't converting, I wasn't getting clients. So you need to know how to put that content together in order to get the clients on board. It's what I call creating buyer desire. So instead of satisfying them, you know, with that meal, it's about giving them a little taster, but leaving them hungry for more, you know, getting them ravenous for more, a bit like a kind of hors d'oeuvre, if you like, you know, when you go out, you know, an appetizer when you go out to a restaurant, that kind of thing. And there's lots of clever ways that I've learned how you put this content together. And then obviously you want a little bit of that, you know, charisma, the je ne sais quoi, the thing that gets people engaged. And there are loads of little tricks that you can use. Now, there's a big debate on this charisma thing. You know, are you born with it? You know, is it something that you can learn? Well, it's like any other skill. Some people are going to take to it faster and more naturally than others, but it most definitely can be learned. And that is something that I can teach. There are always, as well, some people who, no matter how much learning they do, you know, they're not going to be as good as other people. All right. So, but it's the same as anything else, but you so can learn it. It can be woven in through the content. It can be, and certainly if you've got confidence, you're halfway there. And there's lots of other little things that we can do to really build the charisma of your speeches and talks and your Facebook Lives and your webinars, and it doesn't matter wherever. And then, of course, what it's all about is not waiting until you're perfect, but getting out there, but continuously improving it as you go along. The people who are amazing and the, you know, the professional speakers who are, you know, perhaps they pay, you know, they get paid thousands of dollars just for half an hour speech or, you know, anything up to a 90-minute keynote. They've been doing it a long time. And here's the thing, they do not do a different talk every time. They do the same one every time and they perfect it. So, you know, this is what it's all about. Now, at the heart of these skills is selling. The whole thing needs to be put together in a way that is all about selling. And it doesn't matter if you're selling a product or a service or an idea. You know, you may not be putting it together with a view of having money change hands whatsoever, but you might be, for example, delivering to the board of directors about, you know, implementing XYZ strategy. You've still got to sell an idea, you know, or as I like to call it now, rather than selling, creating buy-in, creating buyer desire, getting people on board your ideas, getting people on board and wanting whatever the next step is. So the middle bit then, the turquoise, the, you know, the confidence, the content, the charisma, the continuous improvement and the selling, that's kind of, if you like, the skills. That's at the heart of being a great speaker. Then the purple frame, if you like, is where. Where do you do that speaking? And pretty much it's either offline or it's online. So offline is going to be on stage, so either at conferences or workshops. It might be just the front of the room in a, you know, networking meeting, that kind of thing. Or it may be in smaller meetings. So it might be, you know, behind closed doors. There might be just, you know, half a dozen of you. It might be, as I said, speaking to the board, speaking to a couple of HR people. It might be speaking to a small business and you've got the owners. It might simply be one-to-one. Okay, so you've got that whole offline thing going on. Or you've got online, which is webinars. You've got a massive whole realm of way of doing webinars. It could be through videos. Then you've got the hybrid of an automated webinar, which is like a hybrid between a webinar and a video. Now you start chucking things like Facebook Lives into the mix. And of course, you've also got your one-to-one conversations over things like Zoom meetings, Skype, even a Facebook Live call, you know, just one-to-one, a Facebook Messenger call. So there are loads of places for you to speak once you've developed the speaking skills, you know, or simultaneously, you know, you learn as you go. That's the exciting part of this. So what I want to do is to tell you a little bit about where you can learn to get better at all of that. And that's the actual heart and core of the skills, and learning about how to deliver those kind of presentations in the various different places. So let me tell you a little bit about the 5-star speakers. Now, at the moment, we are still in founder membership land. And this has been a really exciting venture for me. We've got a load of founder members who are all pretty wonderful. And it's such good fun. We're, you know, it's a lively group. They are absolutely taking action and they're going places, which is really exciting. So what's 5-star speakers all about then? Well, first of all, like I said, you've got those skills that you need to learn. So the first thing it's all about is about learning how to put together a killer presentation. And there are 5 elements to that. There is a reason why I'm calling this, my entire branding, if you like, for my product, 5 stars. And it's not just because of the nice quality kind of thing that fits with 5 stars, but there are 5 points to the star. And it's like multi-layered. It's like an onion, and it all seems to be in 5s. So if you look at killer presentations, for example, they're what I call 5 C's to put that together. Now, there's no way on this little demo within my Facebook Live I'm going to have time to go through all of this. And of course, if I went through it all now, there'd be no incentive for you to need to buy into the program. But there's a lot to actually putting that killer presentation together. And once you know how to do it, you can replicate that again and again and again. So once you've learned to do it for a webinar, you can do it for all your webinars. Once you've learned to do it for stage, you can do it for all of your stage speaking. Once you know how to do it for meetings, you can do it for all of your meetings. Once you know how to do it for an hour, you can do exactly the same thing for half an hour or 90 minutes or 20 minutes or 5 minutes. The concepts, once you've learned them, you can apply it in any situation, which I think is just like awesome. And that means you can take advantage of things like, let's say, for example, you went along to a networking meeting or a conference and one of the speakers just couldn't make it for some reason. So I don't know, there was a traffic accident and they were like, you know, in a a queue 3 miles long and they couldn't get out of it, or one of their family members was taken poorly, or they were taken poorly, or like Susan, fractured her ankle. There's a million reasons why sometimes speakers don't make an event. And believe me, the event organizers have such a hard time filling those spots. Now, if you know how to do this off the top of your head with about 5 minutes preparation time, you can go in and deliver a killer presentation. Okay, so it gives you so much opportunity. And believe me, I have taken advantage of those opportunities many times. Now, the thing is, though, just knowing how to do the killer presentation, as I started putting all of this together, I started realizing, well, that's not enough. Okay, so the little K here that you can see on the top left, that represents the killer presentations, but it's only a fifth of the entire thing that you need to know. There is so much more to monetizing your speaking. So I developed this little model so that I would be able to not just teach people how to deliver a great presentation, but all the other things which are important to making that successful and making sure that you can make money from it. So the first S, the S of my speak, it all spells out speak, as you can see. So the S is all about what I call the swarm effect, and that is how am I going to put my stuff in front of the right audience? So it's like, if you can imagine attracting clients. Let's say your clients are bees. You can either chase them around the garden with a net, which is really difficult, or you can be like an amazing flower that is going to attract the bees to you. But it's also about making sure you're attracting the right swarm. You want a swarm of bees who are going to stay and make nest and make honey. You don't want a swarm of wasps. All right, so that's why it's called the swarm effect. Then, of course, the P, you've got to have the right topic. You've got to make sure that you're picking a topic that they really are hungry for, and that it's got to relate to that particular audience. You've got to, like I said before, build the confidence. You've got to be able to make sure that you're extremely poised. You've got to look at what is the best arena for me to speak in. Is it webinars? Is it videos? Is it workshops? Is it live? Is it this? Is it that? And the other? And what this does is teaches you how to make the most and capitalize on any of these situations. Again, I just don't have time to go into all of this tonight, but it's all in the membership site. So let me tell you then, once you go into the membership site now, as you all know, I'm putting the prices of my products up. From the 1st of July, this product is going to be $497. Okay, so my 5-star speaker system, as you just saw it there, is going to be $497. All well and good so far. I hope you're with me. Any questions? If you've got any questions on any of this, I'm still trying to keep an eye on the little feed as it's going through as well. So please give me some love, give me some hearts. This is my first screen share on Facebook Live, so it's a big deal for me as well. All right, so the 5-star speaker system, the skills and the overview of all the other thing is all fair and good and dandy, but as I started getting into this, I realized that on its own that wasn't enough. So if we kind of come back to the context, I thought, well, people want to know more about these. So they're going to want to know more about webinars, and particularly webinars. I thought that's where I'm going to go first. So I decided that I needed to help people with webinars. So how do you get started with webinars? Well, the thing is, one of the things that puts a lot of people off webinars is that it can be quite technical. So you've got a double whammy if you've got to speak and you've got to handle technology. So therefore, I have created a nice little product called Getting Started with Webinars, and it keeps it super simple. So for anybody who's a bit technically challenged, for anybody who's starting out and doesn't want to invest, hundreds of dollars in a webinar platform or tens of dollars every single month, You can do it using free tools and your existing setup. So you can use, for example, Facebook Lives, or in this case, using YouTube Live events, marrying that up with your web page system and your autoresponder. So if you're using WordPress for your web pages, if you're using something like MailChimp for your autoresponder, whatever you happen to be using, you can create a webinar putting that together with YouTube Live, and that is what this little program is all about. So if you want to get going with webinars using tools that you're familiar with, you may need to learn how to use YouTube Live, and all of that training is in this product. So that little product from the 1st of July is going to be charged out separately, and it's going to be available for sale at $97. But then as you progress, you're probably going to find that you do want to take advantage of webinars where, you know, they become a big part of your strategy, and then where you might need to start being more advanced than just playing with a nice, simple, straightforward webinar using YouTube Lives. So I've got a product, I'm calling it now, I'm renaming it 5-star webinars. And there's a lot to it. So you've got all your planning, you've got your strategy, you've got to see where webinars fit within your overall sales process. So ideally you want a kind of webinar funnel. You might want to drop webinars into an existing sales funnel, or you may need to just set up a sales funnel and drop a webinar into the middle of it. Then, of course, you've got to plan the individual webinar itself, and there is so much to that. Again, I haven't got time to go into all of that right now. I mean, crikey, we've already been 40 minutes, and, you know, I could talk for a whole day on this subject. So you've got the planning of it all. Then you've got the actual presentation and how that's going to be put together. And webinar presentations probably do need to be a little bit different to, you know, how you might sort of speak, say, live and all that kind of stuff. And I do go into this, obviously, in the 5-star speaker system, but I wanted to kind of give more options and ways of doing the webinar presentation in particular. The other thing to kind of consider is then, you know, what platform am I going to use? Or how am I going to choose my platform? So I go into a lot of detail here on the differences between some of the more popular platforms, and also how to choose and what features to look out for, which is going to, you know, lead to you making that choice, because there's so many things to consider when you're choosing your platform. Don't just blindly buy a platform because it's the latest thing and everybody else is getting it and there's a big deal and they're saying get in before the price goes up, get in before. Believe me, I've done plenty of that and, you know, regretted it. The only thing that it has done for me is I can now give training on a whole load of different webinar softwares. So in this product, I'm about to redo it all actually, but I'm going to be giving up-to-date trainings on the old traditional GoToWebinar, Zoom meetings, Zoom webinars, Webinar Jam, Easy Webinar, Webinar Geo, and how to use Facebook Live for webinars as well. Okay, so there's all that techie training in there too. And then of course, there's how to promote it. Now, what you have to understand about promotion is I've got loads of different ways. I think I've got somewhere between 15 and 20 different ways that you can promote your webinar, depending on your business, depending on your audience and all the rest of it. However, I will say now that I am not a promotion expert in all of those different ways. So let's say, for example, you decide, yeah, Facebook ads is going to be the best way for me to promote my webinar. I can give you basics on Facebook ads, but if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty, you're probably going to have to go and find, you know, a little bit extra out on that. But at least I can help you choose. I can give you the information to make an informed and educated choice on what's going to be the best way of promoting your webinar. And finally, the other P, the profits. Okay, how are you going to monetize your webinar? So all the different ways you can monetize your webinar, pretty much a little bit like I said earlier on in this Facebook Live about how you monetize your Facebook Lives. So there's shed loads of different ways you can profit from your webinars. So all of that, and again, now this is going to be my new flagship program. And because there's so much in there and all the technical stuff, and I'm intending to buy more webinar programs and do more technical training on them and go into quite a lot of depth on this. And yeah, from the 1st of July, this one is going to be $997, which is really quite exciting for me. But I think it's just something that webinars are such a powerful tool. You know, they really, really are. I mean, if all it did was get you one extra client at your high ticket price, you know, would that be worth it? Absolutely. You know, webinars changed my life. Webinars are the reason I'm in Spain. You know, they really kind of got me on the map. And I know that a lot of you who are here and have seen my journey from the old SNA days for 5-6 years ago, even maybe, I can't remember how long it is. I know you've seen that, you've witnessed that journey. So when I was kind of discussing this with my mentors and choosing my pricing, it was like, yeah, I mean, one webinar that I did made me $16,000 in 2 weeks. It was like, whoa, you know, it was just incredible. Then I kind of hit a bit of a brick wall and I went on another journey of learning. But now it's like, oh my God. Okay, so in the program then, in the membership site, you are going to get the 5-star speaker system, and you're going to get starting with webinars, and you're going to get 5-star webinars. Okay, but then I kind of thought, but that's not enough. Some people really do struggle with nerves, and although there is a section on dealing with, you know, how to become poised in the 5-star speaker system, I thought, yeah, I really want to go in more depth. So I've put a program together which includes everything that you need to know about confidence when it comes to speaking, why you don't have confidence in the first place, how to deal with that, what you need to do, really understanding where the lack of confidence comes from, you know, giving you all the reasons why you need to overcome that. And it's just absolutely phenomenal. So and I've actually written a book on it. I think Trace got the book. I think her book came this morning. So yeah, it's I'm kind of quite excited about this little program, and it's based on the book that I wrote called Befriending the Bear. And it gives you practical assignments to do to build your confidence. So this is not something which you just read. It's something that you apply. All of my stuff is not just knowledge to be read, you know, just shoved in the back of the mind. It's all to be applied. Now, from the 1st of July, well, actually, this probably won't even be available on the 1st of July. I'm probably going to revamp that and issue it later in the year. But that's going to be around about the $297 mark. Okay, but it is in the 5-star speaker program right now. So you do get the 5-star speaker system, and you get to get started with webinars, and you get the 5-star webinars, and you get the Speaking with Confidence program. And then though, on the journey, in my quest to become a good speaker, and one of the things that I learned on my journey was all that is not enough. That actually, if you want to set yourself apart from all the competitors, if you want to really become an authority, you know, you have to be different. Because I'm sure you're absolutely brilliant at what you do. But the problem is there's also a whole load of other people out there who are good at what they do as well. So how do you stand out from them? How do you set yourself up to be different? And the answer to that is you have to create your own signature system. So if you've got your own signature system, then that makes you different. It's your unique selling point. It's something that nobody else has. And it makes you easy to remember. And it really builds up that credible authority status. It sets you apart as an expert in your field. So I decided that that was something that I was going to do a whole load of training on, which I have done. I just want to record and rebrand some of it. So that is also, but this is in its entirety under the old branding already in the 5-star speaker system in the membership site. And that, as I say, later on is going to be charged at $297 as well. So in the membership program right now, you do get the 5-star speaker system, which is going to be sold at $497. You get started with webinars, which is going to be sold at $97. You're going to get the 5-star webinars, which is going to be sold at $997. The speaking with confidence, which will be sold later, it won't even be available for a little while at $297. And the 5-star signature system, oops, I got a typo there, which is also not going to be available until later on at $297 as well. However, there's a lot there. Where do I start? Where do you start? Well, for some of you, you need to kind of just start with putting first things first. Okay. Oh, actually, I forgot something. I've jumped ahead. That on its own wasn't enough. I realized that all of my speaking needed to be part of the sales process. You heard me talking earlier about webinar funnels and dropping webinars into your sales funnels. And then, of course, I started learning all about funnels. So I created a program, and Chris has been through this program. That is being removed. It's going to be put into the 5-star speaker membership site. So you'll get your hands on all of that. So you're going to get all the funnel training. So you're going to get the 5-star speaker system, the get started with webinars, the 5-star webinars, the speaking with confidence, and the 5-star signature system, and the speaking and webinar funnels. Okay, so as you can see, the value here is starting to really stack up of what is in that membership program right now. And like I said, we got to then think, well, where do I begin? First things first is quite simply how you present your business. And what that means is quite simply things like your elevator pitch, your infomercial. When you're introducing yourself at networking events, say, for example, out live, you might go to a networking breakfast or a lunch or something like that. You're talking over coffee and there's that question, what do you do? Or you might also have the opportunity to stand up for 60 seconds and do a little mini presentation to the rest of the room. Most people do not have a clue what to do with that opportunity. And all of that is in the presenting your business. It's not just offline, no, you can do this online too. You know, you get chatting to somebody in a Facebook group and they say, what do you do? Yeah, you need to know how to articulate that in a way that is short, simple, and compelling. The other thing is, you know, that 1 minute can be your video that you do live on your website, not live, as a video on your website. You can do a little Facebook live, all sorts of different things. All right, Chris, thanks a lot. Chris is already in, so see you soon, speak to you soon. Trace is saying, I've witnessed Tina's growth from presenting as a speaker to webinars and training, and it's amazing. Thank you, Trace. Everything is in the membership and it's a fantastic course. And I have the book. All right, fantastic. Thank you, Trace. Okay, so you've got to look at presenting your business. That is also going to be a separate course, and that one's going to be $97. All right, so you get the idea now. All of these things are adding up. I'm not going to go through the list every single time. So when you add all of that lot up, okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 programs. Oh, I forgot one. I'm still jumping ahead. Okay, there's the you know, I said at the start I was going to take my Facebook lives out. I'm also going to be selling that at another $97. So actually, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 courses all in the membership site right now. When you do the maths and add all of that up, the value is $2,676. Now, you may have seen this kind of thing done before, where these figures are, you know, plucked out of the sky. A lot of people do this really well, where They may not be actually selling these separately, but they've still, you know, kind of used a scientific approach to put a real value on, and when that's done, that's fine. A lot of people just, you know, put their finger up in the air and just kind of guess. Each one of these is going to be sold in separate funnels by me. So these are the actual prices that they're going to be sold at. So the total value is 2,676. But that's not all, because one of the things that I do, in addition to all of that training, is I give support through a members-only Facebook group where people can go and post their homework, support each other, ask questions that I wouldn't give the answers to in the free group, and 2 live coaching calls each month where they're kind of like mini mastermind groups. And I'm going to be getting guest speakers in. So, for example, I'd probably get somebody in to talk about Facebook ads. So I might not be the expert in that, but I'm going to get guest speakers in and all of that kind of stuff. Now, that is going to be sold as a separate thing going forwards at $97 per month. So if you join now, you get that free. Anybody who joins after the 1st of July has to pay $97 per month on top of whatever it is for the actual training. So if you were to kind of stay in that membership for a year, that's worth $1,164. Because I'm going to be getting guest speakers on, I'm going to be doing this more of a, rather than just tutorials where I repeat the same stuff, we're going to be, you know, doing it more of a mastermind. Okay, get a few people in the hot seat. What are you working on right now? Let's have a look at challenges. And that's going to be of real value. So you're probably going to want to stay on more than a year. But even if it's just a year, that's going to be worth $1,164. So the total value is $3,840. You know, so what are you going to have to pay for it to get your hands on it right now? Right now, all you're going to have to pay is $29 a month. Okay, so that's a really small, affordable monthly commitment. And the reason that I am keeping that for this final 2 weeks to the end of June is because I want to make sure that I am providing something affordable for the people who have followed me and who have been, you know, encouraged me and given me, you know, support and all the rest of it up until this point. But going forwards, I have to raise the prices because that's just the way that I'm going. You know, I've been working with mentors and that's basically what's going to be happening. But if you get in right now, that price will never, ever, ever go up. It will be locked in. It's like what they call a kind of grandfather situation. You're grandfathered in. And you will never, ever pay more than $29 a month. Obviously, you can be a member as long as you like. So you can be a member for 2 months. You can be a member for 3, you know, well, as long as it's going, you know. I might not be doing it when I'm still 90. All right. So, but you'll get lifetime access as well, as long as you keep paying. And obviously stop paying and, you know, access stops. But here's the thing, as well as locking that price in, I mentioned that I'm going to be doing updates. You will always get all my future updates. So every time I do an updated training because a software platform has changed, you're going to get those updates. On top of that, you're going to get all my future new products. So one of the things you'll remember, I'm going to show you the model again in a minute, but obviously we talked about webinars. I haven't said very much about videos yet, but I'm going to be including, you know, how to speak on videos. And, you know, some of the little techie stuff on like using Camtasia or whatever. So there's going to be video training coming as well. There's other products that's on the list to come along, like storytelling. And so how to tell your personal story so that it fits in with your webinars and your talks and all that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, it's really, really exciting. But if you want to get your hands on all of that, you've got to take action by the 30th of June. The doors are closing on the 30th of June for that particular membership. And then I'm going to be opening new membership, and like I said, it's going to be $497 for the 5-star speaker system, and all the other products are going to be separate, and you have to pay $97 a month for the coaching, live coaching course. Now, so you got until the 30th of June. So any of you kind of feel that you really do need to think about it and make a decision, that's absolutely fine. However, I know that we all like to procrastinate, so I'm going to give you a bit of an incentive on not procrastinating. Anybody who jumps in and takes fast action, so that's by midnight tonight, I'm going to do that Eastern Standard Time, so New York time, or Eastern Daylight Time, sorry, it's summer now, isn't it? So I'm going to give you a 1-hour mentoring session, and my standard 1 hours going forward are going to be $300. So if you join now, you'll get a fast action bonus that will never be repeated, okay, for an hour's mentoring session, which is worth $300. Coolio. So just to recap then, that is basically how you use Facebook Live in connection with Zoom to do a mini webinar. Good question, Samantha. How do you sign up? I'm going to put the link. In fact, I should be able to do that right now. I'm going to put the link in the chat, in the comments box here. This is quite hilarious because my Zoom thing is covering. There we go, managed it. Okay, so that is the link for you to join. And yeah, I'm really excited. There's a lot in there. There's a lot in there. The caveat, okay, is that as I add new products, you've got to test them out for me, tell me that all the links and all that kind of stuff is working. Because obviously with any new products, it's, you know, you get your speed bumps. So it's, you know, the whole thing is, anything new I do, I'm going to be road testing it first in this membership site before I roll it out to the general public. So yes, for me, it's been an exciting journey. As I've learned, I've put more and more and more and more in. But now my mentors are saying there's too much in there. You've got to bring it all out. You've got to separate it. But I didn't want to do that until I've given you guys the opportunity of getting your hands on it right now. Alrighty, so what I want to do now then is to just recap the speaking situation, how you can make money from speaking. So you can make money from speaking. You can monetize your Facebook Lives. You can monetize any speaking that you do, whether that's on stage, in meetings, so offline speaking, whether it's online, webinars, videos, Facebook Lives, YouTube Lives, hybrids, you know, any speaking that you do, it's all about monetizing it and learning how to monetize it. Because for so many years, I was told I was a great speaker, I was a great trainer, I was a great coach, but I didn't have the faintest Scooby how to monetize it. And that is why, to be honest, I put everything in one site, didn't hardly charge much for it, but particularly over the last year, I have learned heaps more about how to actually make that happen. So what do you need to do? Regardless of whether you join the program or not, you need to get speaking and you need to monetize your speaking. If you need some help with that, I really encourage you to dive in. Even if you kind of think, I'm a bit busy now, I've got a lot on my plate, it's still worth it because that price will be locked in forever. And then you can kind of dip in. And, you know, my advice would be, because there's such a lot in there, that you just take what you need for now. Don't try and absorb the whole lot in one go, because there's too much in there. You know, that's why the value in there is so big. Okay, so you take what you need to work on right now and then work your way through it. So are there any questions? Yes, Trace, good point. You're all working together and supporting each other. And Trace is saying she's loving it. Thank you, Trace. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now because I've done that. You've seen what you need to see. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and come back live again. Hello. And what I actually really, what did you think of Zoom? Let me know what you thought of Zoom. What I like about Zoom is that you can show your slides and you get seen in the corner as well. I love that. Now, for those of you who are a little bit camera shy, you can actually choose not to share your camera so that you just do a complete screen share. That might look a little bit odd when you first go live, so you would probably need to share your screen right from the word go, so that people have got something to look at rather than a voice coming over a black screen. Okay, Carl. Hello, Carl. I miscalculated the time. I'll catch the replay. I'm intrigued. Oh, it's a shame you missed it, Carl. But yeah, go and enjoy the replay. It might be my fault. I don't know. Maybe you're more than an hour ahead of me here in Spain. Alrighty. Any other comments? Tracy's saying fantastic, can't wait to have them. Yeah, you're going to have to calm down and take it one step at a time, Trace. There's so much in there. The first thing to do, and of course, if anybody needs help, I'm pretty much taking just one client per month. So if anybody wants help, then you can get in touch with me and we can have a conversation about how I can help you through the material by taking you by the hand and working with you on a one-to-one basis as well. So any other questions about how to monetize your Facebook Lives, about how to monetize any of your other speaking, or about any of the stuff that's in the program, if you're kind of quite keen and interested to join, and if there's anything you need to know before you head on over there and dive in. I'm so excited. You're like me, like Tigger, bouncing up and down with excitement. It's lovely. It really is lovely. I can see. I don't know if you guys are seeing this. I'm experiencing that my screen is kind of freezing a little bit on the. It might be just because I'm running the webinar and I'm trying to watch the live back all at the same time. Okay. Any more questions? I noticed there's still 6 of you there. So give me some love if you really enjoyed what I had to say there. Hit the hearts button. If anybody of you's got any questions, there is a little bit of a lag when you use Zoom, which is why I'm kind of repeating things. No freezing. Oh, it's just my picture then, Samantha. Thank you. So yeah, there is a tiny little bit of a lag. So I'm gonna just give you a little bit of time to ask any questions before I see it coming up on the screen. Apart from that, thank you so much for joining me again. It really is lovely having people there when you do lives. It's so nice for you to come on board. It's so nice of you to participate. And I know some people have come on at the beginning and have had to go, and other people have just joined and all of that kind of stuff as well. So that's all pretty cool. So if there are no more questions, I'm going to say cheerio. Have a lovely evening. Have a lovely afternoon. Well, have a lovely evening if you're in either South Africa or Spain or the UK. Have an awesome rest of the day if you're over the pond in the US. And have an amazing weekend. Can't believe we've got to the end of the week. The week has gone so fast. Oh my God, the week has gone so fast. I can't quite believe how fast it's gone. And it's also the end of the Facebook Live training. Can you believe I've done 10 Facebook Live trainings? So if you haven't caught them all, then do go back and watch them. If you're watching from the free group, obviously you've got 2 weeks. Or I'm not sure, actually. You might only have a week to go back and watch them before they get taken down. But of course, if you do invest in the membership program, you will get to watch them anytime you like in the future. Cool. All right, it doesn't look like there's any more comments or questions coming in. So if anybody of you do want to join, it would be so lovely to have you with us. We are a very merry band. We have some fun, especially on our live calls that we do twice a month, always on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of each month. And it's all the fun. So I don't want to go. I like having a party. I like it when I've still got people watching me and interacting with me. But if there's no more questions, I'm going to say cheerio. Have a great time. Have a great weekend. Lots of love and hugs, and see you all soon. Bye.